This section is asking about a perfectly competitive labor industry. And so just like with perfect competition, we draw side-by-side graphs. One is the industry and one is the individual firm. And we find that this industry has a supply and demand of labor. It finds its equilibrium point where they intersect, and that then establishes an equilibrium wage and a quantity of labor in the market overall. That wage is transferred to individual firms. And so we find then that in the perfectly competitive labor market, the supply of labor is infinite. People will work as long as you pay them that equilibrium wage. The demand curve is derived based on the marginal revenue product, and it is downward sloping. The marginal revenue product itself is calculated by looking at the marginal product of each worker and taking what they've produced and multiplying it by the price that the good is selling at, and that then gives us the value of each worker. And so we know that each worker is incrementally less productive than the one before him because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. And so the value that each worker is adding to the company is constantly diminishing compared to the one before him. But we'll continue to hire workers as long as their marginal revenue product is greater than the wage. And we'll hire our last worker at that point at which the marginal revenue product is equal to the marginal factor cost. Or put a different way, the value of the last worker is equal to the amount of money we have to pay him to produce that product. In which case we would find then that the competitive labor market is now in equilibrium.